Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. has returned, so my body is feeling a whole lot better, yes. Well, at least mostly better. I don't know why I'm touching myself like this, but S.H.I.E.L.D. has returned sooner than expected. I was expecting a 3-month hiatus like it's done before, but I feel like maybe the people behind the show, the producers, all of them, knew that they were going into a break a little too soon, so they're like, yeah, some people are going to be pissed. We got to bring this show back sooner rather than later. So after just about a month or so of hiatus, we're doing like a 3-act structure to this season, and the second act kicks off with their LMD Life Model Decoy storyline, in which Ada has gone rogue, or just plain evil, in this episode, and she has now this agenda to create Life Model Decoy, starting off with Agent May in order to get her hands on the Darkhold. And quite frankly, this episode did not really dissuade me from changing my mind around about this storyline. It still has its moments that have good dialogue, have good character moments, because they're on cruise control when it comes to that. I love S.H.I.E.L.D. enough that they have their character moments that they're always going to win me over, especially when Mac and Yo-Yo are throwing around these movie references that I kind of understand, especially where Yo-Yo says, I'm going to make Radcliffe watch all those Terminator movies, and Mac retorts by saying, even Salvation? She's like, he's earned that punishment. Like that was a really good line, especially for humongous movie buffs and geeks like myself. But I still don't like their decision to go with this Ultron-based storyline that we've kind of seen before, done within S.H.I.E.L.D., within other sci-fi genre TV shows and movies, where some of which get mentioned and referenced in this episode, and they really didn't do anything brand new with it. Ada has that kind of Ultron-esque type of prowess where she's going around, she's hacking into the system, she has that voice, hello Coulson, you know what I want. I was afraid you would say you wouldn't give it to me. Boom! Power shuts down. Like, really? Oh, that terribly shocked me. No, it didn't. And then I got frustrated more with the big twist that Radcliffe was the one behind it all this whole time. He was actually evil this whole time, and he was the one that was controlling Ada from the start. And the one good thing that came out of that is that it explained why Ada turned heel all of a sudden. The way they made her seem at the very end of the last episode made her seem like she was kind of reaching for something better to become human and to kind of do whatever it takes to become human, but there was going to be a level of complexity to her character, and I'm like, okay, if you're going to do this storyline, at least do it like that. But then in this episode, she just straight up like knocking fools over, punching them, killing them, like just like, I'm like, where the hell is this all coming from? She just literally turned evil in a matter of seconds, and there's no explanation behind it. Even if she is a robot, there has to be an explanation, and I was pissed with that up until the end. But then my frustration was then transferred over to the twist of Radcliffe being the main villain here, or at least one of the main villains. I'll get to the other potential villain or lurking in the shadows later on when I tackle the other aspect of this episode. But this entire thing was just trite to me. I didn't think it was terrible, but it was just something that I just wasn't invested in as much as I was with the other half of the episode. And by the end, the only slight interesting factor that I took away from this was that the Life Model Decoy modeled after May, I was very intrigued with her actually not being part of Ada and Radcliffe's plan. Like, she had some sort of sentient Agent May AI in there where, at least for this episode, maybe it'll show up later on where she's got that evil stink eye and she's like, I work for Ada and Radcliffe, blah blah blah, I'm evil now. But it would be interesting to see if maybe some of Agent May's consciousness gets mimicked in that LMD so much that maybe there is a secondary May looking somewhere in there that's going to have, once again, that level of complexity that I was looking for in Ada. And because of all this, I found myself invested way more in the other little adventure that we're following with Daisy, Simmons, and Mace trying to track down Senator Nadir and her perceived brother, who is supposedly an Inhuman up until this point. And I enjoyed this more, not only because there was something to kind of relate to when it came to the two brother and sister that now have to tackle this difficult thing about one of them being Inhuman and yet the other one kind of hates Inhumans. It tackles this whole prejudice that I've always found fascinating with not only the Marvel Universe but almost every kind of comic book kind of storyline that's always bold enough to tackle an issue like that we kind of have in the real world, but then they take it and make their own in the comics. But it's easy to kind of see that being mimicked in the real world, and that's why we love comics so much. And I love that this aspect of the episode tackled the prejudice about how sometimes these people are willing to kill their own families just because they're tainted with the alien bug, like the senator was saying here, to the point of getting the watchdogs to put him down and lurking him into a trap. And I sincerely felt for this brother character, BJ, who's played by an actor who I hated in *Halt and Catch Fire*. He had a role in the 3rd season of *Halt and Catch Fire*, and I'd hated him in there. Not because his performance was bad. He was a good actor, but I just felt like his character was written in a very obnoxiously, overly intelligent, very smug way. But I'm glad to see that his talents are being put to good use with big mainstay shows like this, and it looks like maybe we'll be seeing him more just a little bit if that tease at the end is led to be believed, which is that he encases himself in a cocoon, and it looks like maybe he has more of a regenerative type of ability besides the quick reflexes, which at first I'm like, okay, cool, but at the same time, that's almost a little bit of a downgrade than what Yo-Yo can do, so you gotta show something that makes this character worthy of returning. And it looks like him being able to shell himself up there at the bottom of the sea and then regenerate would be actually pretty awesome. And 2 little anecdotes with this side story. First of all, Simmons. She's been in the game long enough to know how to kick some ass, and I love that the show showcased that with her little fight scene with that guy. That was awesome. Rooted for Simmons. Way to go. And then the second thing is that in this little plot with Nadir and her brother, it is where we learn that there is some other villain out there, because there's always going to be some other villain. For every good guy, there's always got to be some other bad guy. And of course, that's just the balancing of the scales. And we learn in this episode that there's some kind of superior figure lurking in the shadows. He's literally mentioned only once or twice, but it is a he. Nadir refers to him as him or he, whatever. And he is the one that is primarily funding and orchestrating the watchdogs, and he is someone that Nadir answers to. Who? We'll see. Hopefully by the end of season 4. Still pretty bummed that the whole LMD storyline is going to continue in the fashion that I wasn't really a huge fan of. I don't think it's very terrible, but combined with that twist that just feels like a twist for the sake of being a twist, it reminded me an awful lot of the twist of what's his face, God, I'm blanking on his name now, but Uncle Eli Morrow from the first arc with Ghost Rider, where he turned heel and became a bad guy. It reminded me an awful lot like that, and possibly even worse, because now thinking back to certain scenes, they kind of don't make sense with him being evil. I really don't. It's like a little bit of a pull out of your ass type of trick that I'm just sitting back, relaxing, and just watching to see how they play it out, and hopefully they could do something clever with it. But up until this point, I'm more curious about who that superior figure is that's hiding beneath the mask that is the Senate and these people that are fearing Inhumans, and what they can do with that. I'm more interested in that than I am with the LMB storyline. I'll be giving Broken Promises, the mid-season return of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, a low 8 out of 10. I just didn't think that half of the episode with the LMD storyline, for me personally, wasn't as strong as it was with the whole Inhuman debacle between the Senator and S.H.I.E.L.D. itself. So please let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the latest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after its month-long hiatus. What do you think of the whole 3-act structure of them tackling Ghost Rider in the first act, now with the LMD? And what do you think they got up their sleeve for the third and final act, closing out Season 4? And do you think that it's a wise choice to go for the LMD storyline as well as this whole thing with the Inhumans and some other huge villain controlling the watchdogs? Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Like and share this video, and of course subscribe if you enjoyed it. And we got plenty more S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews coming within the next few weeks, so stay tuned for those. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at DarkSpiderDavid, and be sure to check out my channel for other videos, including previous ones from Season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Until next time, guys, take care.